All right, so here's part 2 of shelf number 6. That's what I'm going to start calling this, at least until we get to a certain point where I've got all of my Voyager moved over to the shelf that this was occupying. This is going down one shelf, and once I place everything, you'll better understand. I know that I didn't have a restocking montage like I normally have in the last video, but that's because the majority of that actually went into storage. So this is actually going to be moved to another tier of the shelf, one lower down, where the old stuff was occupying. So we will get a montage at the end. So look forward to that, if that's your thing. I don't know. I don't know if it is or not. So, hey, let's get started. I've got a lot going on here. It's really hard to tell where to start here. So let's go over here. Let's start with the Kirk figure. This is Diamond Select's representation of Kirk during the TOS years. And if you remember, the head sculpt on the Wrath of Khan and the motion picture are a little different. He's got a little bit of a chubbier face here, more of a handsomer face, whereas in the later ones, his head's a little taller and a little thinner. I think that this actually looks really good for the original Kirk sculpt. His shirt is rubber and hangs over and has kind of a flappiness to it. His boots are hard. His pants are hard as well, hard plastic. He's still in his bondage because I basically took him out of the box. The box was just a single white box. It looked like a mail-in, and it just had him, a hand, his communicator, a tricorder, which looks pretty cool, a Type 2 phaser, and then his Type 3 phaser rifle, represented here very, very well, very cool. Have I had that out? No, I haven't, because it's actually still twist-tied into the figure here. And that's got a nice piece of tape holding it back, and so does that. So yeah, I haven't removed him from his plastic, which is very interesting. But then again, I have a lot of representations of Kirk from the original series, and I really didn't want to lose any of these really cool bits. Well, speaking of tricorders, let's take a look at this one. I put batteries in. It takes 3 AAA batteries, and when you open it up here, ooh, it clicks on, and it lights. And then you've got this that opens up here. Ooh, look at it glow. That's pretty cool. Move this out of the road for a second. And then you push the buttons. Computer. Yeah, the old computer voice. Library computer. Yeah. And it scans. And turn it off, and then... Oh, must be an alert. Or an alarm, or a red alert. Let's do it again. Yeah, it does. Okay. Standing by. Yeah. Working. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so it scans, and it is a geological tricorder, and I'll show you why. is down here, you've got 2 test tubes. Look at that. 2 pieces of rock. How cool is that? And then to shut it off, you just close it because it's got a little switch in there that turns it on. How cool is that? And then this one. Isn't that great? I love this thing. This is a Diamond Select release. The carrying handle, kind of leathery, kind of stiff. I suppose if you wore it quite a bit, it would wear down and get a little bit more pliable. Moving to the next tricorder, you're like, why does he have 2 tricorders? Why do I have anything? This one is actually different because it has a moray. There, see it lights up? It actually lights up inside of here. And then there it's blinking. Okay. Oh, and there, see the moray spins or moves or has the appearance of movement. I'm not exactly sure. I think there's a, yeah, oh yeah, you can see a little star formation kind of moving through it. You can turn it off and then...
Getting another life reading, Captain. Azimuth 93 degrees, range 1570 yards.
And it's supposed to be a crewman.
An alien metal of some kind, an alloy resistant to probe. Seems to be some disturbance coming from that cave.
So this is also a medical tricorder because if you open this up, there's your medical probe. Now it doesn't really do anything special except light up with a little diode that changes color. How cool is that? Yeah, so basically you can... I mean, if you're playing that, I guess. Yeah. It's so cool. I really love it. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in a little bit here because I'm going to address the other Kirk in the room. This is the McFarland Kirk that he put out alongside of the Picard that I showed that I normally don't like to say I don't like something just because, you know, why do you have it if you don't like it? But I really didn't like that Picard. This, on the other hand, this Kirk looks great. The head moves fairly well. Really well, actually. He's got a good shoulder bend. His elbows bend and twist. His hands bend and twist. His feet are really nice. He's got really nice feet. The patch right there, I think that looks just gorgeous with the gold in it, and then his captain's bars down here. Yeah, I mean, they knocked it out of the park with this figure. I think the likeness for the price, believe these were $20 when they were first put up on sale, but for the price, this is an amazing likeness of a 1960s William Shatner. Will you graduate with me? So this is just a ring from the very first movie, I do believe, of the JJ universe, Star Trek, the United Federation of Planets. This is the Graduation Academy ring, 2258. It's kind of nice. QMX put these out. It's nice in the box. Comes with a little lit up box, so it kind of shines down on it. It's pretty cool. Let's talk about these real quick. These are made out of wood from my uncle Chuck Bowman, who is Woodchuck, and many people know Woodchuck from making Star Wars weaponry and props for a lot of people that are parts of garrisons stationed around the United States and throughout the world. So he makes a lot of props. He made this and my wooden hand phaser that I've shown in a previous shelf dusting. But yeah, that's just so cool and so intricate and so nice. So at one point, I believe that this keychain lit up. Unfortunately, I do not have a battery for it. It's a really fun little etched TOS Enterprise inside of crystal, and the little thingy goes in there and it lit up. Unfortunately, you kind of see the battery up in there. I don't have a battery that fits this. Even though I do have a ton of watch batteries, I do not have one that fits this. It's very, very tiny. If it's smaller than the LRs, I don't have it. But at one point it did light up. It's just the coolest little thing. I saw this in a cabinet at Big Fun and just thought it was the prettiest thing. Isn't that cool? Fun little keychain. So this is the companion piece of the communicator that was out of the box. This is the calculator clock digital recorder with authentic sound and lights. And this is the one that's still in the box. I bought this from someone who was selling off their relatives' stuff because unfortunately they passed away, and they were avid collectors of Star Trek things. And I had opened my other one and everything had gone haywire in it. The clock didn't work, the calculator half worked, and then the battery compartment was busted and bad. Let's see, these were made in 1998. But yeah, so that flips up and there's a clock under there, and then the entire black part flips up, and then there's a calculator there. And then you would push these buttons to record your voice. I think it's like a 5-second record. And then the more I didn't spin, but when you opened it, it had a really great sound effect. So yeah, so that's what its box looks like. And this is great news. Requires 3 AAA batteries, not included. So this thing will work when it comes out of the box, which it won't. So I got this little pin here. This is Star Trek Voyager. The video game was called Elite Force. It was a first-person shooter. They made Elite Force, and then they made an Elite Force 2. Both of them are a lot of fun. They were the only time I have ever played any kind of a Star Trek game where the hand phaser was represented the best. The Type 2 hand phaser was so cool. And I tried to use it as much as I could, but unfortunately, as you progress through a game, you get better weapons and different weapons and weapons that you're supposed to use in certain situations. And I just kept going back to that hand phaser because that hand phaser was just the best. It was based off of Star Trek Voyager. So the first one was while they were still in the Delta Quadrant, and then the next one was when they had gotten back to Earth and they were figuring out what to do with the crew. So it was a pretty compelling story for, a game made in the early 2000s. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed it. And you got this collector's pin when you bought the game. Yeah, 2000, huh? So up next, let's do this one, this non-Star Trek one. Seems like almost every single one has one of these. This is a limited edition adult collectible of Warren Johnson's Pro Stock. I can open this up. It's got layers. Let's talk about layers. Warren Johnson, Jim Goodrich, 1999 Pontiac Pro Stock, one of 3,000. How fun. I forget where I got this. I think I got this when I was working for the Blitz. I don't remember off the top of my head. But there are, like I said, there are many layers. But we're going to peel them all back. I want to see this thing again. I haven't had it out of the box for a while. Styrofoam. Styrofoam. And Viola. Hey there. Got your nose. This is all die-cast metal, by the way. Good old Pontiac Firebird from 1999. Put that down here and we'll get the car out. Look at that. An adult collectible, everyone. The door does open, I think. There it is. You can kind of see inside there. There's very detailed, and if you turn the wheel, the steering wheel moves. Isn't that something? Not very well, but it does move. And then, of course, you put the front in the grooves here. Magically. You have to do it off the camera. Oh, there it went. Slid right on. Look at there. Isn't that beautiful? To people that like Pro Stock. No frills, No batteries. Just some nice rubber wheels. And a beautifully produced die-cast Pro Stock Drag Racer. So let's talk about these two Diamond Select hand phasers. These are Type 2s. I have another one right down here. Boom. This one I put batteries in, and the batteries did not work. So this is just to show you what it looks like completed. And this is to show you what it looks like when it's the Type 1. And the settings are controlled right here using this thumb dial. As you can hear, they change. And the pulsing light does change as well. Isn't that funny? And then it just, these two contact these right here. Actually slides in like that. There we go. And then that lights up. And you would think that this would change it, but it doesn't. It's still up here. And then you can actually turn the emitter off using that. I don't know why you would do that. Yeah, so these are Diamond Select's TOS Type 2 and Type 1 hand phasers. Let's talk about the brown box that has a number on it. Number 627. Star Trek, the motion picture sensor and insignia set. Yeah, they're doing it right. 627 out of 1701. But let's take a look at what's inside here. It's actually pretty cool. Of course, Star Trek, the motion picture sensor and insignia set. Limited edition prop replica. So it's got magnetic enclosure right here. And then you open it up. Oh, look, there's Kirk and Ilea. But that's the Ilea that's been probed. There's a little explanation. And then you've got your props. So basically this goes around your neck and it does light up. And then this is a nice die-cast metal insignia that you see right here on him. I think this is a magnet. Yes, it is a magnet. Magnets are the best. And then this was a pain in the butt to get back in here. So I'm going to try to do this without too much. Let's see. There you go. It's got a beautiful LED in there, and it just lights up. So it's just like the probe that the probe Ilea had in the motion picture. So now we can move on to these figures in the back, and these are the last four things on that shelf. I believe that's a Vorta. Let me take a look back here. What's it say? Features interchangeable parts. Wow. Let's see. Oh, it's a Horta. It's a alien species called the Horta. So it's a silicon-based life form. And then here he is. Spock's in pain while mind melding with him, which is what that's for. And then he's got a tricorder that's closed and a tricorder that's open. And there's the Horta right there. And then there's Spock going all, I want to shoot you, but And he's got extra sets of legs. What's really funny is that this looks exactly like that one, except without the groany face. Isn't that funny? Yeah, I mean, it's basically the same pose and everything. Let's take a look here real quick. Yeah, look at that. Exact same pose, exact same hand gesture, exact same phaser hand. Except frowny face. And now it's... And all of his arms. Did you know he had that many arms? He actually has another set of legs, too. What's really nice, though, is this comes with the Reliant captain's chair. It's really, really, really difficult for me to not take this out of the box and just pose him. But, you know, there he is yelling. I don't know. I think he's got... His eyes are a little redder than they should be. Looks like Ricardo Montalban, definitely. But I don't know about that face and all of that eyeliner. So last but not least, here's Kirk and from Demon Seed. You can see the engineering panel back there, their iconic fight. I think there's a crushed hand phaser in there somewhere. Maybe not. No, but there's a second set of legs in there, which is really funny. This is basically like a diorama almost. He's in a more or less fixed pose, except, you know, he's got a little bit of articulation. Both of them do. Actually, Khan doesn't have any, except maybe that one arm. His arm and shoulder, or his shoulders may move. But the rest of him is just static. And then Kirk's got some shoulder and arm articulation, it looks like, but nothing in the knees. So basically, this is just a diorama with an engineering console. But yeah, so that's from Demon Seed. That's from their very iconic fight at the end of the show, which leads to basically the wrath of Packers. He's really leaning into it, isn't he? So now we're at the point in the show where we take everything and we give it a good, thorough dusting.